Hey guys, how you doing? Happy Monday. Pastor P here, continuing our look at bold prayer for the month of August. Hope that you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. Even better Monday as we head into a Tuesday. Hoping that you're doing well and continuing to pray boldly for the things that God has impressed upon your heart. The last few weeks we've been talking about how your mind impacts praying boldly and how your heart impacts praying boldly. And so this week we began to talk about our soul, the soul part of us. Because when we're talking about praying boldly, it's a full body experience. It's a full, your whole essence of everything and every part of who you are, just yielded to whatever the request is or whatever it is that you're trying to move toward possessing. And so tonight we began to talk about the soul. Now, I'm big on definitions and getting words just right and all that good stuff. And so when I looked up the word soul, it's defined as the emotional or intellectual energy and intensity of a person. It's the non-physical essence of a person. Other definitions said consciousness, your personality, your emotions. One definition said the essence of a person, your inner self, your life force. And it quickened me as I was looking at this to two particular verses that jumped out first. And I'm going to share these. I got a few verses to share with you as the week progresses, but these two I want to share with you this evening. And one is from Genesis. Genesis chapter 2. I'm sorry, I had flipped off of that just for a second, but I want to go right back to it. Genesis chapter 2, and in the Message version, verse 7, I love this. It said, "At the time God made earth and heaven, before any grass or shrubs had sprouted from the ground, God hadn't yet sent rain on earth, nor was there anyone around to work the ground. The whole earth was watered by underground springs." The book of Genesis is just amazing to me. God formed humanity out of dirt from the ground. It says God formed man out of dirt from the ground, humanity, Adam, clay, red clay, and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man came alive, a living soul. Now the word that's used there, nefesh, the Hebrew word nefesh, soul means desire. It says the human, the man, came alive, a living soul, living desires, living emotions, living passion. So that word nefesh means desires, emotions, passion. It comes from a root word meaning to be breathed upon, to be refreshed. So that clay was refreshed. And I often think about in the creation story that in order to breathe into that clay, God had to be so close to it. Okay, just right there to breathe that living soul into that work of clay. And I don't know, I'm just kind of encouraged by that God was breathing forth desires, emotions, passions, and it stirred and brought life to something that was not, now is. Okay, to nothingness came somethingness. And that has always just intrigued me about the intimacy involved with looking at the soul, because that's the part that God just came so close and breathed in. The rest was worked with God's handiwork, but within humanity, within that clay, God gave what was within God to bring forth emotions and goodness gracious, emotions, desires, passion, intellect, that intellectual energy that the definition speaks about. And so I'm always really charged by that. God formed man out of dirt from the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. And the other passage I wanted to share with you is from Hebrews, the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. One of my absolute favorite favorite verses, which speaks about how the Word of God, the spoken Word of God, it is living and active. Hebrews 4:12, the Word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit. What part of you belongs to God and what part belongs to you and your emotions, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and the attitudes of the heart. Nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything is uncovered and laid bare before the eyes of Him to whom we must give account. Oh my goodness. What's that got to do with bold prayer? Because those emotions, those desires, those passions, those things that come out of us and want to create, by our own spoken words, by our own breath, the things in which we speak forth. Goodness gracious. I feel my insides just so jazzed by this. That when we bring forth prayer boldly, it's about peeling back those layers. Because when we do this study, and we're going to see this here in the next few days, that there are emotions that wound us at a young age, and we carry things into as we age and as we get older, and we have a choice through prayer, through picking those things apart, through dissecting those things to get back to that original breath. And so I'm excited about sharing that with you. But until then, know tonight that your very breath, I'm going to encourage you to just breathe. Just breathe. Get in touch with your breath. Pay attention to your breath. Are you breathing quickly? Are you breathing shallow? Are you breathing strong? Are you panting? Are you blowing? Pay attention to your breath. Till we meet again tomorrow night, pay attention to your breath. Know tonight that I love you. I love you. Just breathe. I love you. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow. Bye now.